Let's dive right into a really big question today, one that cuts to the very heart of faith and authority. When you think about the story of your life, your beliefs, who's really holding the pen?
Really think about it for a second. When it comes to your deepest convictions, who is the final word? Who is the ultimate author you turn to for the truth?
The thing is, and our source material really highlights this, there are just so many voices out there, all competing for that top spot. It can feel like you're just endlessly scrolling through a feed of leaders, and every single one of them claims to have the answer. First, you've got figures like Kenneth Copeland. He's written a ton of books, and he's known for making some pretty bold claims, like, healing baldness. Is he the guy you hand the pen to? Or maybe you flip the channel, and there's Joel Osteen. He's that famous motivational speaker, always smiling, always has a good word for you. Is he the author you choose to follow? And then there's Bishop T. Jakes, another hugely popular author, famous for some pretty dramatic moments, like casting out a demon right there in public. Is his voice the one that gets to write your story? And on the complete other side of things, you have someone like John MacArthur. He started the Master's Seminary and is known for some seriously deep theological teaching. Our source even brings up the saying that 5% of John MacArthur is better than the rest of us. So you've got all these powerful, charismatic, and brilliant people, right? The source material kind of hits the brakes here and asks the really important question. Are any of them, or anyone like them, actually supposed to be the author of your personal faith? So to get to the bottom of this, we're going to shift gears. We're moving away from all these modern voices and going straight to the source text of Christianity itself. Let's see what the Bible has to say about who the author is supposed to be. And wow, the answer it gives is just crystal clear. No ambiguity here. This verse from Hebrews 12:2 names one person and one person only, Jesus. It calls him the author and finisher of our faith. Notice that. Not an author, but the author. Okay, so this is where it gets really cool. The source lays out this perfect chain of thought. Step 1, the Bible says Jesus is the author. Step 2, it tells us to look unto him. So, step 3, the most logical thing to do is to go look at what Jesus actually said. So that's what we're going to do, jumping over to the Gospel of John. And that path leads us right to this incredible moment where Jesus himself gets asked a point-blank question about what people need to do to be right with God. Just picture this. A huge crowd. They're buzzing, they've seen what Jesus can do, but they're thinking, okay, what's next? What's the to-do list? What are the works we need to be doing? It's a question we still ask today, right? And Jesus' answer just cuts through all the noise. It is so simple, it's almost shocking. He says the one work of God is simply to believe in the one he sent. That's it. No complicated list of rules, no hoops to jump through, just believe. But hold on, what does that word believe even mean here? Well, if we just look at the definition our source gives us, it's about accepting something as true, feeling sure of it. It's about having faith, confidence, and trust. It's an internal thing, not just something you do. But, people are people. And just like we might, the crowd back then thought, wait, that's it? That seems too easy. They wanted more. They asked him to explain, to give them the details on what this belief really looks like. So Jesus explains further, and you gotta listen close here, because this is the whole point. He totally flips the script. He says the Father's will isn't about a to-do list for us. It's about a promise from God. He says God's will is that he won't lose anyone, and that everyone who just believes will have everlasting life. The focus isn't on our work at all, it's on God's promise. Okay, so who cares, right? Why does it matter so much who the author is? Well, the stakes are actually incredibly high. This isn't just a small detail. Just look at the difference here. When you follow a human author, what do you get? Well, according to the source, you often get a bunch of extra rules, a feeling of being controlled, and ultimately this fear of condemnation if you mess up. But when you follow Jesus as the author, the promises are totally different. Everlasting life, real freedom, and resurrection. The source really nails it with this line. The second you let someone tell you there are extra things you have to do, things beyond what Jesus said, boom, you've just handed them the pen. You've made them the author of your faith. And think about what that means. That person, that human leader, they've just taken a role they were never supposed to have. They effectively become your God. They now have the power to condemn you. They have the power to control you. Which brings us right back to the one core takeaway from all this. The Bible is clear. There is only one author and one finisher of our faith, and that is Jesus Christ.
So we end right back where we started, but with a whole new perspective, I hope. The final question isn't for me to answer. It's for you. Who really is holding the pen to your faith?